Welcome to the video, guys. I'm doing this one on the beach here in beautiful Shunpong. I thought that would be nice. You can tell that even though it is not that sunny out, I am still squinting because my eyes are just so sensitive to light. I need to work on that. I need to do some sun gazing and really address that. It probably will be. But guys, today in this video, I want to go over how to live an intuitive life, a more intuitive life. And I thought this one would be perfect to do on the beach because a part of what I'm going to go over has to do with being in places like this. You don't need to have a beach like this near you in order to do this though. This is just one example. But I want to go over how to live a more intuitive life because that's ultimately what I've been doing for probably the last 2 years. Now, that doesn't mean I've always been doing it. I fall back into old patterns and old stories and not being so intuitive and being way up in my head way too much as well. But that's all part of the process of living a more intuitive life and getting to there as well. Because the thing is, when it comes to living a more intuitive life, hopefully you can hear me over the waves. See like little tiny waves here. The thing is that we, for most of us, especially in the West, if you're coming from the West and you're hearing this, we are more conditioned to activate or to run our lives from here, from our thinking logical minds, right? Not from here, from our hearts, which I would consider more of the intuitive mind, or you can also throw your gut in there as well, which would be more of the intuitive. Just 1 second though, I just passed 2 bananas that are on the ground here. That's interesting, and I see some more. It's like a trail of bananas. Maybe I'll find a monkey on the end. Who knows? That'd be nice. But we're conditioned, especially in the West, to really be in our heads a lot. You know, we go through the school system, which is all about this, not even anything to do with that. I mean, we don't even learn things like meditation or simple things of that nature to get into that place. It's all heady. It's all, you know, facts. You need to know the facts, or you need to, be able to calculate in your head and all these things. And I'm not saying those things aren't bad or aren't good, because they are. I really think the mind is an incredible tool, but if it's not coming from the foundation of the heart, there's a crab. If it's not coming from the foundation of the heart, and you're allowing the mind to steer your life, the vehicle is, and you allow it to actually steer your life without at least getting instruction from the heart, then you're not going to be able to live intuitively. You just cannot live intuitively from up here. So that's the first thing, is to have that awareness. If you're trying to live from here, you're trying to plan everything in your life out. You're trying to overthink everything. Have you ever, for example, had a situation, we're going to turn around, go back this way. Have you ever had in your life, for example, a situation where you had an issue, a problem, something that you had to solve, let's say, and you just thought about it forever and ever and ever, and you thought of every possible scenario you could think of and every possible solution you could think of, and you're just trying super hard, you're getting super stressed, it's keeping you up at night, you just have this big thing, right? Have you ever had the same situation where you just went, you know what, forget about it, and you let it go, and then it solved itself, or the solution came the moment you let go? I've had that happen quite a few times, especially on this journey, where I'll be thinking about something, getting worried, getting stressed, trying to think my way through or out of something. And then I will let it go, and the solution will just almost naturally present itself. Or the problem will just go away, in the sense that really the universe is just waiting for me to take my focus off it. I'll be focusing on other things and then be like, oh, wait a second, what happened to that thing? Oh, I guess it wasn't even an issue. I kind of just built it up to be this thing that it wasn't. And this is an example of what we tend to do when we get up in our heads and we overthink. So how do we live more intuitively? So again, just having that base of understanding that it's okay if you're not, especially if you're from the West like I am, that we get stuck in our heads, we're taught, we're conditioned that way. But like I mentioned earlier, your intuition comes from your heart, it comes from your gut, it doesn't come from up here. And so to live a more intuitive life, it's as simple as starting to prioritize your connection with your heart, with your gut, with your inner world, and then listening and feeling out for, more importantly, what is coming from that place. Because one thing to understand is your intuition does not operate or communicate with you in the same way that your thoughts or your thinking mind does. You see, your thinking mind You know, it will communicate maybe through words, sometimes even pictures. But your intuitive mind, or your intuition, is not going to communicate usually that way. Now it can, but typically it's going to operate in the realm of energy and feelings. You see, your intuition is what's connected to the field, we'll call it. It's what's connected to the universe. This is where you'll get direct messages from the universe. But again, we've gone over this before. The universe does not really communicate, for the most part, through words, through the things that we normally communicate, at least in a thinking way. It communicates mainly through energy and feeling. Now, why do I say feeling? Because energy, a lot of times, can be considered emotion, which just for me stands for energy in motion. That's why when you have a gut instinct, and it's usually right, it's because you're getting a feeling. You're getting this feeling in your gut that you should go and do this. Now, sometimes that feeling can help you bring up a picture. So for example, maybe I'm feeling pretty good and I notice I'm thinking about coming to the beach, for example. And my intuition is telling me, hey, instead of stressing out about this thing, let's go to the beach. I'll go to the beach, do some qigong, some of the things that I'll normally do while I'm here. And then sometimes I'll come back to my home and I'll be like, you know what? I was focusing on the wrong thing. I don't even need to do this. Or if I had something that I was working on, a solution will then easily be ready for me, because I took myself out of my head, put myself in my heart, and it gave me the solution that was in my heart. But ultimately, we want to be tuning in to these mechanisms, these spiritual tools that we all have more often. Because again, the reason that you may not be living as much of an intuitive life as you want to is because you are consistently coming from this place. You have practice in using this tool, but not so much in using this tool. And so it becomes about reconditioning yourself to, again, don't neglect the mind. You know, a lot of people think, oh, it's just all about intuition, but the mind is what helps you put into action the things your intuition brings you in the physical world. So you need your mind. You know, once you have the idea that's coming to you from your intuition or your heart, or the way in which it's leading you to live, then you can set your mind to actually making that happen, actually going in the path that you want to go. Because then it's like, okay, my intuition is giving me this idea. Actually, I know a way in which I can implement that idea. That's when the thinking mind comes in. Again, nothing within you is redundant. Nature is not redundant. Nature doesn't really have anything in it, for the most part, that isn't there for a reason. And so when it comes to your mind and your ability to think and all these different things, it's there for a reason. So it is to be used. It's just, again, everything can be a tool, many things, but it's about making sure the tool doesn't use you and making sure you're actually using the tool in a way that serves you. So think of that when it comes to your mind. But what you want the foundation to be is from your intuition. So again, I said how to live a more intuitive life. Here's a few things. I mentioned the beach. Do things that help you connect with that intuition. So one thing, get out in nature. When you're out in nature, it's very hard to be in your head. It almost, for those of you who already do this consistently, whether you go hiking, whether you come to a beach like this, which by the way, do you see that there's almost no one on this beach? I love it here. I'd much rather this beach than any beach in America that I've ever encountered with, you know, just a bunch of people that they might be drinking, they might be, you know, they might be having fun, they might be doing stuff too, which is awesome. But this kind of beach is like, it's my favorite beach on the planet, because I come here and there's maybe 2 people that are down there on it with me, which it just allows the sound, every aspect of the beach's natural state to wash over me. The sound, the breeze, you know, it's so easy to focus on my connection to nature when I'm here. And so if there's a place like that for you where you live, go there often. I come here almost every day. If there isn't, find one. There probably is something near you, a park, you know, some woods, a nature trail, if it's a beach, whatever it is, something that connects you with nature. My intuition's telling me it's gonna rain here soon. It's more just observation there. But what can you do to get yourself out in nature? Because I found my intuition is just more enhanced. It's more clear when I'm out in nature. So that's one thing. Next, practices that connect you to your intuition, your heart. So things like meditation. Now, I have an accountability partner. Shout out to Sam if he's watching it. And we've discussed this idea before. And there's a million tools out there that can help you connect with your heart, with your intuition. And it's not about using every single tool. It's not about one tool being better than the other. Again, they're just tools. And therefore, they're meant to serve you. They're meant to help you along in this journey. So you find the one that works for you. And so if you notice, for example, passive meditation isn't doing it for you, but something like visualization, or perhaps working out in a certain way, or perhaps doing yoga, or whatever else it is, does, then put a little more priority on that tool. Find what works for you. So I'll give you some of mine. Again, coming to the beach works for me very, very well. But also I do what's called a heart math meditation, which is a very specific meditation. I also will do what's called an ah meditation, where I repeat the mantra ah out loud. So I'll go ah, and then do a deep breath, another ah. Sometimes I'll do it with audio of monks that are doing it. So stuff like that I found works really well for me. Doing the Wim Hof method works very well for me. It's something I do every single day. And so you just need to find the tools that help you get into that state and then keep doing them. And if you prioritize those, and you prioritize the intention of actually being able to live from this place, you will start to live from this place more and more. But don't get frustrated, especially if you've lived from here more often in your life, because it does take a certain level of reconditioning and patience to get yourself to that point. You know, for me, I still probably am at about 50-50, but I'm getting to the point of tipping the scale in living more of an intuitive way, and you'll start to notice that your life will start to reflect that. I mean, just look at where I am, for example. If I look at many things in my life, it's now a lot more is coming through me, a lot more is coming into my life from an intuitive place than ever before. So anyway, guys, that's a quick video on how to live a more intuitive life. It's actually very simple. I found, you know, one of the things that you can definitely use to show yourself that you're living more intuitively is if the things you're doing are pretty simple. You know, overthinking only happens here. It'll never happen here. It's usually pretty crystal clear when it's happening here in the intuition. And simple things will help you get there, again, like meditation, coming into nature, very, very simple things. Almost all of it's free and all that kind of stuff. You can buy courses and things too, and that can help. I've done that, but still, to live an intuitive life a lot of times, it's very, very simple stuff, done consistently, done the majority of your time. So guys, I'm going to leave it there. I keep covering the screen. I'm going to leave it there mainly because I'm getting rained on now and it looks like it's about to storm. But thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to have one in the studio set up in the next video. That's how to live more intuitively, guys. If you start doing that, if you start getting out in nature, doing the things you know connect you with your heart, trying things until you find that thing that really does help you connect to that place, you will start to live in a more intuitive way and reap the benefits of that. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave you there. And I'm going to start making a sprint to the nearest shelter I can find before I get absolutely poured on. We'll see. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.